saw it and I was like, I said, oh Lord, this black child, oh Lord. No, because I saw the media narratives that were coming out. He died in his brother's arm, and just the what we know as black people in America, literally the media foundation of being able to assassinate the character or just like obliterate this child.
Real life.
It ain't real life. Just say real life street stars. You know what time it is. Real life street stars, man. We here with another one, man. We got a very, very not only special guest in the building, but we got a very serious topic we want to speak on and try to get some hopefully resolution, not only for our community, Dallas-Fort Worth, for the state of Texas, not only for America, but for the world, man. And we got some very special guys, y'all. As y'all see, of course, Bishop, Eli, Pastor Eli, Dooney, the priest, the barber, and we got a very special guest that we've been wanting on this platform for a very long time. We have Derek, but I like to allow people to introduce themselves. So if you don't mind, let me just go down the list. Bishop, introduce yourself, and then we'll go across.
I'm Bishop Eli.
No, grab the microphone if you don't mind, sir. Just let them know.
I'm Bishop Eli Jacob from Resurrection Body of Christ. I'm just a young man that want to be a servant, and I just thank God to be here on this broadcast and have the opportunity to come before the people.
Thank you.
Just Dooney the priest, Dooney the barber. Y'all know what's going on. Real life street star. Y'all tap in. It's about to be epic. That part.
Hello, y'all. I'm Minister Dominique Alexander, president of the Next Generation Action Network.
All right. And once again, Dominique, thank you so much for coming on and speaking. And, we just did an interview with not only Bishop Dooney, in which we were speaking on the Karmelo Anthony Metcalf case, in which, a scenario that started in Frisco, Texas, has not only taken the media by storm, but the world by storm, in which it is honestly, and we have to speak honest, seems to be causing a racial divide in not only, again, the community, but also the justice system, the judicial system. And we want to try to get some clarity because you're very close to this case. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And for those who are wondering, as far as, a lot of people, especially in the city, know when they see your face, they know exactly who you are. But for the world, can you explain your proximity to this case, if you don't mind?
Well, so the Next Generation Action Network has been brought on by the Anthony family to be the advocacy arm of this family. Our organization for the last 11 years have represented so many different cases and high profile cases here in North Texas and across the country. So our organization is literally in charge of all the advocacy and making sure people understand exactly what it is. And we try to be able to understand there's a difference between the legal ramifications and the advocacy part. Sometimes people in their concepts, they get that blended together. They're like, oh, are you a lawyer? No, I'm not a lawyer. I just run a human and civil rights organization. Lawyers go in the courtroom. We go out in the streets. There's two different things.
Correct. And for those who might question your resume, if you don't mind, can you speak on some situations, especially in the city that you were a part of, if just to jog their memory a little bit?
So, I'm going to say this. If you talk about education, if you go in front of Carter, Roosevelt, Sappho Cliff High School, Lincoln High School, and you see O.W. Holmes or John Lewis, you can go straight in the middle of Sappho Cliff High School and you can see my name on the wall. It was because in 2015, I led the walkout, organized the kids to lead the walkout out of Sappho Cliff High School. That brought about $400 million in a racial equity lens to Dallas ISD. As a formerly incarcerated person, I tell people all the time, you don't get appointed vice chair of a Dallas ISD bond board over $3.5 billion if you ain't doing the work. So that's just anything from the community standpoint, you know what I mean? Because we've always said that the future generation of our community, I can't go in the past or go this, but I can make sure that our future is better. As a person who was born and raised in Oak Cliff, I knew it was essential to make sure that kids have possibilities and hope, right? In the civil rights space or whatever, we the one that did respond to the McKinney pool party situation that brought 25,000 people into McKinney, Texas, after a young lady named Dejaria Becton was slammed to the ground by Officer Eric Caseboat. And our organization, if you've been here in the Dallas Fort Worth area and you saw any police brutality or Botham Jean or a Tatiana Jefferson, you pretty much have saw the Next Generation Action Network work, right? Our organization also wrote the statewide missing alert system for victims of imminent danger between the ages of 18 to 64. It's called the Clear Alert. It's probably the only picture that you'll see me and Governor Greg Abbott in the same room, but it actually exists, right? So that's just a little small part of the work, significant work that the Next Generation Action Network has done.
And thank you for that work, first and foremost. I want to get your temperature of society right now in Dallas-Fort Worth. Would you say racism still exists?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. If you want me to expound on that. What people don't understand in Dallas-Fort Worth, this is the place that was the largest population of the KKK. We look at this and we forget ourselves and we erase this in our mind that there are more people. When I started in 2014, some of the people that was training me from the Southern Christian Leadership Conference from Dr. King's organization, and a lot of them said that they would not even come in the 70s and the 80s or in the 60s to Dallas, Texas, nor Fort Worth. This is the area where Dr. King was literally rejected by Black leaders here at Dallas Love Field. These are all history. You can literally, the only living person that can attest to that, Reverend Zan Holmes, Judge Clifford Davis out of Fort Worth, one of the persons who actually was a charge over, the security of Dr. King when he came to Dallas, just recently passed, probably about 3 months ago or whatever. And yet it's embedded into the core of North Texas. And a lot of times we play with it, but it's in our fabric. We're the only place in the country that our economics and our business is literally ran by yet a citizens council that used to be called the White Citizens Council. Like the vibration of our economics is ran by what is called the Citizens Council. And all that history is of racism.
When you speak on cities like Frisco, Prosper, McKinney, a lot of people that's outside of Dallas-Fort Worth, they hear that and they be like, oh, that's where the Cowboy players go live, or that's where the Maverick players go live. That's a nice area to be in. And, as far as, the American dream, is shared between all cultures. And as you spoke on the 14-year-old in McKinney, when that situation happened, I remember that situation happened. I was working with one of the ladies that was involved in that. Yeah. And I saw that, that was before I lived in the area. I'm like, wow, McKinney seems like it's old school. If you get what I mean, it's old school.
Yeah.
For this situation to have taken place in Frisco at a track meet, in which, of course, we have two individuals that, of course, again, one person has tragically lost their life and the other person is battling for their life. When that first came across your news feed, what was your immediate thought when you seen that storyline, that headline, before you knew the details, or if the details came to you first?
Man, I saw it and I was like, I said, oh Lord, this black child, oh Lord. No, because I saw the media narratives that were coming out. He died in his brother's arm, and just the what we know as Black people in America, literally the media foundation of being able to assassinate the character or just like obliterate this child. You know what I'm saying? Like literally like toast him. And I think that's the reason why people of consciousness was like, hold on, wait a minute now, something ain't adding up here. You know what I mean? Some because they were trying to oversell it. It was like it's just this temp. Okay, alrighty. And then what really messed them up is the family doing their interviews. That changed the game. Period. You know what I mean? Like it was like, okay, did I not hear this right? Did the brother just say that the boy told him to leave him alone, don't put his hands on him? Did I hear that right? You know what I mean? Okay, I know a prosecutor about to tell this family to shut the, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, somebody got to be punking me, you hear me? And did he just say that he normally was the one that get people in trouble? Like, you heard it from them.
Right.
And it was like, okay, something's there. You know what I mean?
Right.
And like I told somebody, the outrage came from the brothers' interview on WFAA, right? The mom and brothers' interview on Fox News. And that went trickling effect. Hold on, wait a minute, pause. Literally, you said that this boy told your brother not to put his hands on, and you said that your brother did it anyway. Just help me understand. Like, I don't have to add in the words of what went on in this situation. He told you.
Right. As you state, no, even me personally, when I first saw the media run with the story, I immediately looked at the picture they chose to use for Karmelo Anthony and the picture they chose to use for young Metcalf. And I immediately, just again, the way they ran the narrative, I saw, here we go. Just another fatherless boy, knucklehead.
Yeah.
Messing up society again. Here we go.
Yeah.
Got fatherless. And they ran with that narrative to where the father made the statement. And again, it's just the way they play into, cameras in their face. I wonder who this kid's parents are.
Yeah.
Does he have parents? Who raised the kid like this without him even knowing the full story?
Correct.
And as the narrative goes forward, and again, now that you're close, at what point did you come involved when they reached out to you? At what point did you reach out to them? At what point did you get involved in the scenario?
It happened on Wednesday. We got involved around 5:00 and was able to go out there. We got involved around that day. Wednesday happened. And then Friday, we got involved and was able to go and visit the Anthony home in Frisco. And I'm telling you, when I pulled up to it, I was surprised. You know what I mean? Because I'm hearing the narrative. I don't know it. I haven't talked to him yet. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, until I come in here, I'm like, okay, all right, I got my concepts in my head. And I remember the text message. I say, they say, hey, let us know when you at the gate. I said, okay. I got text message and QR code. I said, oh, this a gated community. Okay, what's going on? Okay, all righty. All right, I thought I was going to some hoodlums that they said. You know what I mean?
Right,
I thought
right.
I was going to the hood. You know what I mean? I didn't know what was going on. You know what I mean? I thought I was going to an apartment. You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
But slowly go in there, man, and I see this amazing father, and I see this amazing mother and their kids and their family here. And I'm like, okay, all righty now. Literally. But it just shows us what America at its core truly believe about the black child. The black child automatically has to come from a single family home, has to be coming from something deranged or whatever it may be, right? It gotta be like why in America do our children have to automatically come from something of significant less, right? Why? Why did you put this depiction over this 3.7 GPA boy that literally has over 21 pending scholarship offers? You know what I mean?
People will tell you statistics will show.
So the reality is that, understand, those statistics are a jet reminder of yet racism in their policies that they have put over our communities in so many different ways. But in these moments, they show Black America what they truly think about us because of that stereotype that before they even did their own research. Now, this family, now they can't even deal with it because they realize now, oh, this kid didn't come from what we said it was. We didn't do our research. This kid, this parents actually got the audacity to fight for him.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
So, and we're gonna be jumping around and talking about a couple of different things, but I really want to kind of speak on what I feel started this kind of even bigger racial divide is when they seen the Black community support one of their own.
Correct.
When it comes to needing funds for legal fees and starting a GoFundMe, putting an amount. And, people always joke with the Black community about a GoFundMe, like not having life insurance, and a GoFundMe gets started for, someone passing away and, they're needing $3,000. They put in a certain amount for legal fees. And not only did the community come in and show, not only support, but surpassed the expected, what their goal was. They surpassed it. A lot of people were upset about why are we victimizing someone who has taken a life. Just seeing that alone, just give me your take as far as what that showed you or what your take on that is.
Well, as a person who is the president of a human and civil rights organization and knowing what happened in November and seeing the current occupant, the Grand Wizard that sits in 1600 Pennsylvania, I was literally like, Bishop, man, I think Black folks sleep. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna tell you, as a person on the front lines, like, hey, man, our people gonna lose rights that they never knew they had when they lose them. You know what I mean? And we going back and forth on social media, talking about Project 2025 and this is that and the third, and people talking about, and I got Black folks looking at me talking about, hey, Project 2025 ain't real. Trump said it. And first thing he do is put the co-chair as the Office of Budget and Finance. So the reality is that I was sitting here and was like, man, I don't know what we're going to do, man. We're going to have to educate these people. You know what I mean? We're going to have to educate these people. But to see Black America come out for this baby and show up like, man, I've had people call me from California, New York, Minnesota, literally, like, hey, the link here, what, can you send me the link? Can you email me this? Can you do this or whatever? Like overwhelming support. Like people like Black women literally saying, no, I didn't send this through every contact in my phone, baby. Everybody finna send and put some money on this. You know what I mean? Like people taking the initiative to spread this fund out. And all I say is this, right? I always tell people this, years ago, I said, we will never ask the oppressor for permission to liberate our people, right? And so the reality is that I'm not gonna ask white America for yet permission to yet protect or defend one of ours. You get what I'm saying? And so the realization is that sometimes Black America, yet we don't understand that we look at things from a colonialized lens, and that messes us up from one standpoint, right? Is that if their white child can yet say self-defense, our Black child has the ability, right? These laws were not created for just some, they were created for all, right? The Constitution should apply for just all, not just some, right? And so if anybody got something to say about that, be quite honest with you, Minister Dominique Alexander, I say go to hell. The reality is that I'm not finna ask you okay or permission or ask you to defend my Black boy up in this community when I literally saw in the aftermath of George Floyd, a 17-year-old child with an AK-47, and literally executed 3 people, shot 2 of them in the back. And yet he was able to walk away with self-defense and raise more than $2 million, right? What did Black America do? Whatever, hey, the court of law spoke or whatever it may be. And so the only thing we're asking you to do is respect that same process that Black America respected, right? And so if you raised it for the white boy, we can raise it for the Black boy. You know what I mean? And we ain't asking you for permission to raise those funds, right? Because at the end of the day, Karmelo didn't later on claim self-defense. He claimed self-defense from the moment he done it. That was literally in the affidavit. It wasn't nothing that he arrived 2 days later. He literally said it from the moment. It's in the police affidavit of what Karmelo Anthony said when they put the handcuffs on him. He said in statement on the affidavit, is he okay? All right? Meaning that he didn't premeditate, he didn't intend, he didn't do none of that. And it was self-defense is what Karmelo Anthony said. That's all I want people to understand, right? But even like people asking me, you know, a lot of different things. And this case is very interesting because I always tell people all the time, it's hard for us to talk about a lot of the details in the case because a lot of the witnesses are minors. And so, you know what I mean? It's only so much we can say, but literally say, hey, man, sit back, stand by, and look at us in court, right? And so that's the only thing. But we cannot, as Black people, allow them to give us permission to rise up.
Correct. Correct.
Everything about us is under attack right now. Everything. Our classroom, everything. We can't even talk about our own history.
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like the reality is if I died today, the stuff that I've shared with you, what NGAN has done for Dallas, can't even be taught in a Texas classroom right now. Wow. It can't tell my story because I'm Black. Wow. And this is teaching DEI. This is teaching critical race theory. And so when people see the outrage, it's because what are we sleeping under a rock?
Come on.
The man is in the White House, man. The man is in the White House, man. The man literally said, man, I remember one statement, man, I told somebody, man, this dude here, man, this is crazy. I remember when the plane crashed, the next day and the media was sitting in the Oval Office and that fool they say you gonna pay visit to the water area where the plane crashed, and the dude literally looked at them and say, "What am I gonna do out there? Go swimming?"
Yeah.
I said, "Man, listen, man, it's terrible. Listen, man, it's over. Man, it's over with, man." You know what I'm saying?
I was trying to picture Obama saying that. I'm like,
man, they would have blew the house, man, recall, like everything. You know what I'm saying?
You got to keep it honest. He may say crazy stuff. I like to. You got to keep it honest. You know, he real about what he says. So, you know, I like real.
oh yeah, no, he's blunt. But I'm like, man, you got to sometimes shut it off.
But in his bluntness, people like literally stand naive to it.
Yeah.
Like understand what we have. Like you got people talking about, like, you know, it's just the reality of racism and bigotry. And they know how to play into us. They know how to put narratives into us, right? It's just like today, TMZ publish out. Over the last couple of days, 48 hours, we've been literally having to respond to false narratives from your homegirl, Nancy Grace, and all of them, you know what I mean, about the family purchasing an $800,000 home, Escalade, and all this different types of crazy stuff, right? From these right-wing things. The reality is this. The family haven't even got access to $1 of that fund.
I want people to know this because I had to go through the same thing when my mother passed, my stepmother passed, and people think that the GoFundMe just pays. It's a bank. You could just withdraw with a debit card. Not only once you meet the budget, it still takes a while to
Correct.
authenticate the funds and then send it to the correct person.
So let me give people an understanding. Okay, so when we started this fund, and I can't even tell you the platform. What is it? Stand Now Go, whatever it is. I remember the person who the platform actually became very popular. When the guy was it Lucy, whatever guy, the guy that killed the healthcare executive, right?
Yeah, Luigi Maggioni.
Luigi, right? And so he raised more than $2 million.
Yes.
And so this was a platform. So this is a platform that don't discriminate against people raising for legal defense. GoFundMe, you can't raise for legal defense. So when it first happened, there were a couple of GoFundMe accounts that were set up. Those were all fraud. The family never set those up. One of those GoFundMes went up to almost $11,000. And then when we literally reported them, and then the conservative media like GoFundMe deleted all the accounts. Dude, we never set those accounts up, right? And so, mind you, we set up this platform, right? And you raise the money. And I always tell people all the time, when you raise a significant amount of money in these platforms, so I can set up something for you in your church, right? And then what happens is you can come days later and go in there and say you're the beneficiary of this particular account, even though I set it up, right? And then on the back end of it, you're setting up, and that's what starts the verification process, right? And so some of these platforms they have to do third-party verification. So they ask you for your driver's license, social security number, and all that. And then they send it to a third-party vendor to verify whether you are who you are, connected to Karmelo and this, that, and the third. And then it's very difficult to connect a parent or whatever to a minor child, right? You know what I'm saying? Because it requires more information. So on Monday, when they went to the bond hearing, they didn't have access to the fund. The dad actually testified to it. It was brought up in the court, in the bond hearing, that he did not have access to that fund, right? And so it just takes a process. People think you set it up and this, that, and the third. And so what TMZ called, we gave the platform the permission to talk to anybody, particularly about the campaign. TMZ called today and said, no, the family has not withdrawn nothing. Now, the crazy part is, it's just at like 1 and 2 o'clock, the family got notification just today that they can now withdraw. That takes 2 to 3 business days to even hit your account when you can withdraw from the fund, right? And so when they get in but the part was, it wasn't about telling the truth. And that's what Black America has to understand, man. We cannot use their platforms to verify information for our people. You get what I'm saying? People like this, like, brother, the platform that you have created gotta be the vehicle that we get our damn information from. They cannot dictate or guide the information, and then we get people saying, hey man, the news me, this person then said, man, hey man, listen, I told somebody yesterday when they sent me an article, I said, man, I ain't never heard of this damn platform a day in my life. I won't dignify it with a response. You get what I'm saying? It's like they know it. But the problem is, it's not about telling the truth. It's about discouraging people from giving to that fund. Because if you get 10 people about the rate of it, about 1 or 2 or 3 of them gonna believe this shit. You know what I'm saying? And so if you can do that, one post with this disinformation on X or whatever they call it, literally had 14 million views. Escalade that ain't even. First of all, this daddy drive a Chevy.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's got like this is stupid, man.
Disinformation.
Why would he go buy an Escalade?
This is what's got like.
It sound like
he literally testified in court. I work for Chevrolet.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what's like,
So can we speak on it, because they did have to, or I don't want to say they had to, but they did move.
they haven't moved.
Okay, yeah, I'm about to say, and I'm just because as I'm speaking for the people that's watching.
Yeah, correct.
What I got was some people saying, "Oh, they bought a new house," or "No, they're renting a house." They have to, basically move around. Can you provide what exactly took place and why they relocated, if they plan to relocate?
So it's crazy because let me tell you, brother, one of the things I told somebody, I said, one of the big disservice was that bond hearing was not recorded,
Correct.
right? So that people can see it. Because it took all these reporters, because I'm like, was I not in the room? Like this man literally said, I currently live where we have not moved. My lease is up in June. We will have to relocate. The judge said, when you do, let us know, notify us, and we'll do a conference to where it doesn't have to be publicized or the address, right? This family has not moved. They stayed in the same home they stayed in when this occurred. The reality, they have not moved at all. They have not purchased a home. I hope that this family can purchase them a home because I fundamentally believe that Black families should be able to get out of this rent race. But as to the volume or the value of these people home, talking about they purchased an $800,000 home, they currently live in a home that they lease that is valued at $800,000.
You know what? I want to say this here. You started out, you said it real good. People don't know social media deceitfulness. They don't understand how it operates. Once they control the mind of the people that see social media, they don't understand it's all a seed planted to put in your head. First of all, they didn't show where they went to court for the bond. They did that in intention. It's nothing done on accident.
Yeah.
Then they went and said that they purchased a home, they purchased an Escalade. Now, this is to stop them being supported. And we all know that this young man gonna have to have lawyer fees. No, we don't know how long the trial gonna last.
Correct.
And so we don't know if these people might have to move because it's already said they know where their address is.
Correct.
And people being threatening these people and all that. But this is what I want to say to you. You're a very wise man. I'm so glad I came on this show with you because I really underestimate you. I'm just real. But you're very intelligent. You're a very smart Black man. Some of the things you said, you done woke me up to some stuff. So, but I got common sense to know that social media is very deceitfulness. That's why Trump say a lot of things about social media. He knows how they try to, put him in a situation. But it's good that you are here because now you open the eyes of the people.
Correct.
Because I've heard some Black people, I'm just going to be honest, they didn't even control their mind. And they saying, he must have did something. He must have done something. It's got to be more to it. No, it ain't no more to it. It's just simple. If you never been bullied before, if you never been put in that situation, you don't even know what you go through. Matter of fact, I was on the show talking to Joker, how I was bullied and how it turned me to a monster and how it caused me to protect my family, protect my kids, protect my brother and sister. So when people holler about, was he being bullied? I'm just going to ask you a question. It just common sense. Then they said he a murderer. All these things they doing. Do you know what a murder is? A murder is somebody who premeditate and kill somebody intentionally. That's a murder. Why does social media call him a murderer? I'm gonna tell you why they're doing it. They already know if they put this in the people's mind, it'll turn their back on them. It'll make them say, "Oh, he's a murderer. He's a killer." Here's a young man, educated, got straight A student in a good neighborhood, and you're trying to tell me, I'm a pastor. Let's keep it real. I have compassion for the young man who lost his life. Dominique has compassion. But you know why you here? You like to bring out the facts. Mm-hmm. We are closed-minded because we listen to what social media is saying. So automatically, they say you put a race card. We're not putting a race card. We putting the true card. Stop using race as a cover. Who used the word race card? That means somebody that's saying that every time black folks get in trouble, they want to pull the race card. Where that come from? So, but we so close-minded. And I'm looking at the young man, and I'm looking at that woman named Nancy. What's her name?
Nancy Grace?
Nancy homegirl, man. You know who that
Man,
girl
I'm
is,
so
man.
sick of her, and I'm a pastor.
You know
Watch
her.
this. She lies
You know
so
her
much.
girl
Watch
is,
this.
man.
This woman lies so much. She's controlled the mind of the people. She dress up. She not even gonna apologize after she find out that they didn't get no Escalade. They ain't paid for no. She's not gonna come back on a show and say I lied. But it's this is what she's doing. All we're telling y'all, before you judge the situation, I'm talking about black folks too, because I've heard them say, what he doing with this? What he doing with that? Let somebody bully you. I've been bullied before. I've been bullied. I used to didn't want to, when school was out, me and my brother and sister, we should try to wait and make sure everybody gone. When we come to school, we was worrying about somebody picking on us. But if you never been bullied, you don't know what they do to you mentally. You don't know what it caused you to become. You don't know what it caused you to be scared and fear. And watch this. You can't say what a person can't do or what he should have done if you ain't in the situation. If somebody bully you in a situation, you already know the mindset. Somebody tell you, hey, and I wasn't there. If you don't move, I'm gonna move you. That's a gangster to me. That sounds like a gangster to me. But my thing is, and I'm saying this here because one thing I like about what you said is that the people got to understand the whole plan of what they're trying to do to control our mind. They're trying to get people to stop funding them, stop getting the truth out. They just want to already make a prejudgment. Here, this boy, he took a life. Yeah, we understand that.
Correct.
But did he do it intention? Did it out of he went to school and he just a gangster and want to just start something? No.
Yeah.
Let's look at the whole situation. Let's look at the root of the problem. And the root of the problem, you wasn't a coach. I'm just being honest. You wasn't a school teacher. You didn't own the tent. What give people authority or feel like I can walk up to you? I'm 17, you 17, and I'm gonna tell you, hey, let's be real about it. Hey, move from on this tent. No. If you don't, I'm gonna move you. Let's be real, people. Let's look at life for real. That's not right. It's none of it's good. But at the same time, if the shoe was flipped over, let's be honest. I'm just gonna be honest. Say there was a black guy. I'm just being honest. And you was a white guy. And I come to you and say, hey, dude, you need to move off on this tent. And you said, make me, or no, I'm not finna move. And I said, okay, you ain't gonna move, I'm gonna move you. In the process of me moving you, and you actually stabbed me and you took my life. You think that we'll be sitting on the couch talking about the same stuff? Let's be honest, let's be real. You think it'll be like, well, this guy was protecting himself. We understand. Everybody accept. You know what they'll be saying? Yeah. This black guy, he done went to this guy and he got stabbed and this guy was defending himself. Yeah. Nobody wouldn't say nothing about it. Let's be honest. I'm not, as a pastor, I don't like none of it, but I'm for what's right. We're not playing no black card, no white card. This guy, and I'm just asking you, what do you think about him asking or forcing him? Did he have the right to go and tell them move from under the tent? That's what the mindset. Somebody said that the tent belonged to them, the guys.
Well, let me say this, Bishop. We can't pull a race card. We can't pull something that is our reality or what we live 24/7, 365 days of the year, right? It's our reality, right? You can't pull the race card. I just want white folks standing in front of a camera in 2025 after 400 years of slavery, telling black folks when they can talk about racism and yet bigotry, yet just shows us that we have not addressed this conversation of racial reconciliation in this country, right? And so, the fact that you feel like you can tell me when I can call it out, it's just problem number one, okay? You know what I'm saying? Right. Let's start there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I see the daddy saying, anybody bringing race in factor and this, that, and third. Your son got the coverage that he got because he was white. You understand? But I'm just saying, if you're mad at me saying that, then I'm just gonna tell you what it is. You know what I'm saying? Anybody knows that. But the reality is this, is that all I can say, because that stretched me right there, Bishop, is all I can say is that you have to be a cruel individual to yet police a tent in the middle of a storm, rain, and everything, and want somebody to step out of the tent to be rained on. Okay? That's the part. Like, we know it was raining, thunderstorming, and all that type of stuff, right?
That's bullying, man.
Okay, it's like we won't underlay that, right? You know what I mean? And so, with that being said, let's make that perfectly clear right there.
It was raining.
Everybody go back Thursday, Wednesday and Thursday. It was both days.
To get up on, you want him to get from under.
All of the kids ran to the tent because it was raining.
Wow.
This wasn't the only child. He wasn't the only child from another school that was under this tent. Okay.
He was trying to make, that's bullying.
Okay, so that just lets you know that's just it.
From the church side. That's bullying.
But at the end of the day, I always tell people, I tell people this, that's as much as I can go into details of it, because of course there are so many different minors that are involved in the situation.
They got video camera.
They got many things, but of course for the safety of these kids. Because it's like everybody want the answers and different things of that nature. And I tell people all the time, if I haven't been able to verify, talk to, or look, you know what I mean, I would not be on this case. But I cannot, even though as an advocacy, I can't litigate this case in the court of public opinion, right? But the reality is I just point out a nugget.
I know you.
What do you think? If I sit here and me and him say, go out there, man, go. What you got, man? That's cruel. It's raining. It's literally a cloud that looked like there's a tornado possibility. First off, you think about it and say, well, why didn't Frisco ISD postpone or cancel the track meet? What track meet you know go in the rain? Okay. What track meet you know when it go raining on the thing? What can be done? What long jump? Karmelo was on a long jump. What could he do?
And what make the guy feel like he have authority? That's what getting in some people's mind.
Well,
what make him think he have authority?
Well, the reality is
you need to get up on the tent. I'm the chief something. I'm the gangster or something. You sound like a gangster.
Yeah.
That sound like a gangster. If I come and tell you get up on a tent that don't belong to me, I'm putting myself in the gangster shoe.
Bishop, white privilege is real.
Okay. Yeah, and it's passed down. So I want to ask, because this has also, like you said, there was no cameras in the bond hearing, and they were very upset. And I believe Mr. Anthony has stated, they raised enough money where they don't need a bond reduction, but the judge was keen to grant a bond reduction. This is a black judge that spoke over this from what I saw. And it seems like she has now taken the brunt of a lot of racist attacks based on just her judicial decision, in which, again, like you said, law shouldn't be blind. Law should be blind.
And let me say this so I can get people to understand what this woman said in court and what the prosecutor and what the dad said. The dad was the only person that testified on Karmelo Anthony's behalf in court. Wow. There were more than 9 people who were entered as possibilities of people who would testify, right? But Andrew Anthony was the only person who took the stand, all right? Nobody else took the stand in this whole entire bond hearing, okay? What the prosecutor did was he entered into the record the 2 documents in the copy of the fund, right? And entered it in the record. And the dad said, I don't have access to that. He said, well, if you think, don't you think that, in Texas, when you bond, it takes 10%. So that's 100,000. When you have 100,000 to bond your son out, the dad said yes. Now, if anybody know in the legal world, getting a $1 million bond,
You can have access to it.
you ain't finna just pay that
They ain't never
$100,000
been in
for
trouble.
the most high risk bond there is. That bond is normally gonna probably cost 20%, right? Which is 200 property and good credit. Okay, you know what I'm saying? Because that's a $1 million bond is probably
Somebody gotta pay for it.
the highest risk bond there
Risk
probably
bond.
is. You know what I'm saying? So like you're not getting that, but you asking this daddy that you don't know the answer. They were like, okay, yeah, we had it. But the reality is that wasn't the case. They don't have access to this fund.
Yeah.
But the judge was like, I don't care about a fund. The part is does this bond, is it justified under law? That was determined that it wasn't. And what the judge said was, if I don't give it to him, he will literally get it in an appeal. Because what it will do is that the prosecutor said that the bond should match the dignity of the loss. And the judge said, no, that's not how bonds work.
That's right.
Bonds are
Because you don't know if
literally,
he guilty.
but bonds are literally assessed based on the ability of the person being able to go to court, right? And so there are factors that are given into bond. Is this person is this person a person that is a risk to the community, threat to the community? Does this person has a support system? Does this person have do we have a criminal history? A number of different factors.
That's right.
And so let's say this. Is Karmelo Anthony a risk to the community? There's nothing that you can contribute to say that he is a risk to the community.
Come on.
Do he have priors?
Come on.
Do he have support? All of these are bond contribute. The allegation against him is not a bond factor, but only in America. You know what I mean? Do people feel like, that's why I always tell judges all the time, don't apologize when somebody get out on bond and then they go in and commit a crime or do whatever, because at the end of the day, the factors that you are contributing are totally different. You know what I'm saying? They are totally different. So this woman literally, based on these factors, said that this bond should be $250,000. Now let's sit back. When Jordan Edwards was killed by Roy Oliver, he got a $300,000 bond. When Amber Geiger killed Botham Judge in his home, she got a $200,000 bond. When Aaron Dean killed the Tatiana Jefferson, he got a $250,000 bond. Make hell make sense. You know what I'm saying? Make something.
And this murder.
Make something make sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, so please help me understand. Like, a judge is supposed to literally say, is this
right
a consistent practice? Is this fair? Is this violating his rights? And at the end of the day, a woman lowering a bond of $250,000 for a 17-year-old that has not been in trouble before, from $1 million, and mind you, we all know, first of all, this case has not even been indicted.
Yes.
So really, in the Texas code, this really not a case yet until it's indicted. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This really not a case. This is an accusation. This is a cause that is yet being filed in the court. It's not. It hadn't went in front of a grand jury. We don't know whether it's going to grand jury, but the reality is that there are going to be some factors. Was this premeditated?
Nope.
Was this all this stuff? So capital and murder one ain't gonna be. So we know that this case probably is not even. There's probably an 80% chance that this case is probably not even going to be indicted on a first-degree felony, right? And so the reality is that people saying this, it's like, you know, I got some people like I had a post where it was like, Dominique Alexander and Judge Tucker they know each other and this is that and the third and let me say that they you know, this is a leftist judge and all this. Here is a woman. I run a human and civil rights organization, okay? This is a woman that's been a Republican for over 30-something
Don't know
years.
nothing about you.
Been an elected judge for over what, you know what I'm saying? Probably wouldn't never come to an NGAN rally.
At all.
Do you know what I'm saying?
She just did what's right.
Nothing that involved me. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is what they're showing Black America. No matter the politics, you still a what? Come on.
Black man.
No.
I ain't gonna use that word.
No. Bishop, go on, let it out to you. Come on, let it out to you, Bishop. Come on,
Y'all
Bishop.
say it.
We on Real Life Production.
I'll say it for him.
We on Real Life Production. Say what it is.
I'm gonna be a house nigga.
No, come on now. Tell them
Be a
now.
house nigga
Tell
today.
Black America what they say. No matter your political affiliation,
Y'all
no
not
matter whether
y'all
you've
not
been a
gonna send me to
Republican
hell.
for 30-something
Y'all not gonna
years,
send me to hell.
Bishop, you still a nigga. You still a nigga.
Pastor Eli, still a nigga.
You still a nigga. And mind you, people don't wanna like, but man, I was born to a mother that was 13. So the woman that raised me was born in 1926. And let me say this quick. I always tell people all the time, man, I try to speak truth to power when it comes to racism, is that you reminded as a Black woman in America, no matter your political affiliation, according to the white man, you still a nigga be.
But let me say this, because some people gonna be thinking that we're not saying all white folks is racist. We're not saying. We're talking about the one that
Bishop,
you know you got the devil in.
Bishop. Stop trying to explain to people
All right.
the difference. That's what I want people to understand.
All right.
Stop trying to explain to people and tell people we ain't talking about you. Hey, if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it.
Don't wear it.
You know
Well,
what
we
I'm
talking about
saying?
you.
We talking
about you, that's you.
I know good people. Hell, my personal attorney is white or whatever, and hell, I take her before a bunch of these fools and depend on like, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, we ain't talking about the ones that know that we're not talking about them. You don't even have to say that
That's
to them,
right.
Bishop.
I want to say this, Dominique, because he's very smart. My God, well, he said some things that I know a lot of people need to hear. Because one of the things that folks talk about is when you tell the truth. I had a pastor. I'm just gonna be honest, and he said this guy he shouldn't been under the tent, which is crazy. And I said, what you mean that he shouldn't be under the tent? He said, it wasn't his tent. Were they at a school or were they at a track field? What was it, Dominique? Because everybody saying
That was at a track meet or whatever.
To the school.
And it belongs to the school. And at the end of the day, all we can do is like, you know, like, man, everybody coming up with these different things, these different concepts and different point of view. The point of the fact is that you had a child policing a tent in the middle of a storm and a rain. And if you think that is okay, then the problem is with you.
Mm. But it don't get no deeper than that. And doing it, Priest, what you feel about the whole situation?
Well, I'm gonna have to agree with Dominique, but I'm gonna say this, man. When it comes to our country itself, we have to pray for not only President Trump, but all the leaders of the land. And that's what we do, because it's not a black thing, neither is it a white thing, but we should do the right thing. Mm-hmm. That's what my prayer is. So I would say this: may God bless America. May God bless your families. And may God bless the world in peace. And so I think with the knowledge that we're sharing today, that the truth is going to come out, and we are jumping ahead of the narratives that one would put out on social media. And so, yeah.
When you said the truth already been put out. Listen to Dominique and the fact, the thing that it said. And here's the thing, though.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're putting the truth out now.
That's why I want people to understand that this young man, and I'm for what's right, he didn't go to that place looking for trouble. He didn't wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to be a gangster today. He didn't go there, did not know that this young man was going to come intentionally try to move him from a tent. Y'all got to get this. It was raining outside. Everybody, we have compassion. And this, when you look at somebody's life being taken, you want to look at that point, but you don't look at what caused this to happen. You're looking at what happened, but you don't look at what caused it to happen. I think that if this young man never, just my opinion, would have never went and tried to force this guy from under the tent. Let's look at it. And not only tell him, but put your hand on him. I just want to be honest. I don't think that's right. Not only that, what give you the authority to make you feel that you can do that? Here's the problem with the whole thing. And I was telling this pastor this here. He had no authority. And he said, so that means that he had the right to do what he did to the kid? No. He didn't intend to, this is my opinion. He didn't intend to try to kill him. That's not what happened. What he did was feeling like he was protecting himself because you put your hand on somebody. Man, let's not say something to somebody. But when you go as far as putting your hand on somebody, you can't tell nobody how to protect themselves. I can't tell you how to protect you. You might cover up, you might run, you might do whatever. But when it comes down to protecting yourself, nobody can tell. Just like a person that get raped, everybody can't say, well, she should have get over it. Some people might go through some counseling. Some folk may go crazy. Some folk may go on with their life. But you can't tell nobody. This is what America need to hear. You can't tell nobody how to defend themselves when they feel like you are disrespecting them, you're taking their rights, you're bullying them. You cannot tell nobody how to respond to that. I wasn't there. I don't know what I would have done. I'm being honest and I'm gonna be real. I don't want nobody telling me not just to move from somewhere and it's raining. Then you come forward and saying, I ain't just gonna tell you. I'm gonna pull you out. I'm gonna make you, force you. Save or no save.
Yeah.
You asking for some trouble.
I got and Bishop, you just said something, and I got a real it's one last question for Dominique, and for those that are listening, viewing, and watching us today or whenever you watch it, what can we do with all the things that are going on in the DFW Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex with our young people? What can we strategically put in place with the influences we have, the power we have, the knowledge we have now of today to reach our young people, to put something in place to where not only we can stop the violence, but give them something tangible to understand who they are as young people?
Well, first off, this answer is complex. It's like it's so many people that's trying to do this. But we talking about giving infrastructure to kids. But we ain't even gave infrastructure to our idea or preparation to what we're trying to do. Okay, so That's if you're trying to go in these schools, you got to have people, the curriculum.
Yeah.
The school districts have compliance to what they bring in there. If you bring in a proposal to any one of these corporate companies, you got to have the resume, you got to have the people, all the decks, all the different stuff, right? It's like people come out here and say, man, I'm formerly incarcerated, man, I need to have access and speak to the kids. Yeah. Bro, that don't work like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, I'm formerly incarcerated, bro. That don't work that way, man. As a person who have programs in schools, I got people with EDs and MDs. I don't got none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm not, but I'm smart enough to know that I can get the ones that got the PhDs, MDs, and EDs and all that good stuff, right? Is being able to get with them and hire them to be able to make sure that our program have the infrastructure, has the
credentials,
quantitative and qualitative approaches, the credentials to actually go through there so that then I can sit here and say, hey, Bishop Eli, I need you to come speak with kids and blah, 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 and this, that, and third. See, I always tell people all the time, the programs I have in school, I don't be in the day-to-day of that. That's not my lane. Mine's is being invited as a guest and going and being able to teach the kids and talk to them. But there's a lot of level of compliance before you are able to do that. So what I say the problem here in Dallas is that people don't want to pause and literally build infrastructure with each other. Everybody want to be the top Negro. Everybody want to be the top voice. And don't nobody want to be the Indian. Don't nobody want to be the be like, Dominique, you know what? Dominique, listen, man, I'm gonna partner with everything you got. But I don't even want to do all that paperwork, all that stuff right there, blah, 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 this, that, and that. That ain't my field. And so my thing, when I get to explaining this to some of the people that want to do it, it be like, bro, you got to do this work before you do that. You know what I mean?
You know what, Dominique, that's what's real about this whole situation. You very educated. I don't care what, boy, I know they use your past against you, but you about the first person, because I don't like dealing with people that say they trying to help the community. I've seen too many hustle, and I see guys get the funds, white and black, and they use it for their own benefit. Right. You about the realest brother, and I don't say stuff like that. I don't blow smoke on folks. I respect you so much, man, to the fullest, because you are so real about what you feel. You don't switch lanes, and I believe that God allowed you to go through your process. Even you've been in prison, did this, because if you never would have went through the experience that you went through, you would know how to reach these kids. If you never been through the things you went through, you saw both sides of the fence. Correct. You were educated on politics. You educated from the streets. It's nobody more powerful, more qualified like you. Now, I'm gonna say this here because I know preachers don't like me. But I see a lot of preachers, church, Christian. I don't know about the Muslim. I'm speaking for Christian. I wish a lot of them was like you. You're real, man. You go out there to the people. You're not scared to take the bullet. You're not scared to take the blame. They should. I believe that if somebody will get behind you, man, we can turn Dallas. We can turn Dallas around like Paul and Silas did Jerusalem. With the infrastructure. Because you have the knowledge, you have the heart, and you're sincere. There's too many people, man. I hear people say it all the time. We're losing our youth. They too far gone. Yeah. We got to stop talking about that. Like that young man that did the shooting yesterday. And he said something. He said, he's going to be me. Y'all don't want me to die. Right. These kids, they in the mindset, we can't snitch. That's one thing. Yeah. We can't rat. And so, but we have to have a system to where these kids, first, before I can change anything, this is my story. I told people I would have never did 15 years in prison if somebody would have pulled if I would have met a brother like you, and in the process of me in the streets, I think my life would have turned around. And so, but we got too many people doing it for their own self-glory. And we got people like you that wouldn't lay your life down. I watch you. I saw you. I saw you walk the street. I saw you get in the neighborhood. I see you jump up. I see you, if you got to catch a bus, you're going to catch the bus just to make a difference. Right. And so you're very important to Dallas, man. You should have been the mayor. Don't tell nobody that. I know. Some of these mayorals ain't worth 5 cents.
Didn't you vote for him? Didn't you vote for him?
No, they got bag.
Didn't you vote for him, man? That man voted for him, man. Man, that man voted for him, man.
You want what's that word they use?
Man, that man voted for him, man. Shout out to you voted for him, man. Man, I thought, I blood Bishop, I swear about 5 years ago, I saw you with an Eric Johnson shirt on.
No, Shout out to the franchise initiative. White on the inside, chocolate on the outside. I'm gonna keep it real. Come on. Well, I'm gonna keep it real. I feel you. Nah, my cousin ain't worth 5 pennies. But listen to me. One thing about me, I'm gonna tell the truth. But I'm looking at society. I'm looking at the thing that happened yesterday, and it saddened me. Is because the youth need an outlet. Right. Man, they need somebody that can come to them. And people want to deal with a problem when it becomes a problem. We have to have a solution before the problem. What do we give the kids before they get in this situation? Yeah. How do we educate them how to not
That's
let
good.
nobody
That's
play
good.
you off the street, not let nobody cause you be in a situation where you mess up your life forever. And so I'm looking for a system because you got to look at some of these kids, man. They father locked up. Their mama want to feel like she's 15. You know, a lot of these kids, they getting in trouble. I'm not talking about them got in an accident, but getting in trouble is because somewhere in the house, they're lacking something. And so I believe that people like yourself, me, the priest, I think that doing the priest, I think that there need to be a system set up where these kids that we know that getting in trouble or could get in trouble, could be a high risk. What you bring to the table. What you think I'm just going to ask you this question. What you think the church needs to do and ain't doing?
Oh,
That's a hard question. Come on, keep it
I don't
real.
want to deal with your peoples, man.
Let's tell the truth. Let them know. What's
people.
just come on, tell the truth. Hold on, let me see what Dominique gonna say.
Well, I always tell people all the time, you know, there's a lot of people that invite me to churches, and I always say, if you can't get out in the streets with me, I can't get with you in the pulpit.
They
You know?
disconnected to the street.
And so,
Let me
and
shake
so,
your hand on that.
so,
Well,
he just said something.
and so the
We
reality
gotta change
is,
this.
and so the reality is, man, some of
That's
these
good.
preachers, man, and listen,
Come on, keep it real, please.
they all about, you know,
Please.
it's kind of like they say what they say, thus said the Lord, but I always push back at that and say, no, you ain't saying what thus said the Lord, because I served the Jesus that literally was out in the streets.
He was in the
You know what I'm
street.
saying? It was in the streets.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
you know, they come against me.
Like, and I tell them all the time this. I said, I asked a preacher all the time, I said, what was the first social justice movement documented?
What you say? You gotta
I
educate
said,
me.
what's the first social justice movement that has ever been documented for humankind? Is the life of Jesus Christ. You think about the 12 disciples. Would this been the most scholared people in the world to be picked? You know what I mean? Who's the 12 disciples? That's the first social justice movement right there. His life, literally, was the first social justice movement. And I get preachers all the time, man, all that social justice and human rights stuff. Well, you ain't for Jesus. I'm trying to figure out, because the tax collector, the murderer, all of those things.
Pharisees, Sadducees, you're right.
All of those things. So the reality is that what are we doing here?
We're doing
You know
too
what I mean?
much speaking in tongues.
And see, Bishop, I
shouting.
think you trying to get me in trouble with all these
I
people.
ain't gonna
Man. You know what I'm
get you in
saying? I ain't
trouble.
trying to fool with all these people.
but
You know what
the
I'm saying?
church is disconnected, though, Bishop, and we trying to
but I
reconnect.
get you, though. I get you.
Because the church
but I get
always
you.
have played. Let me say this, Bishop. The church historically have always played a powerful role in our communities, right?
Yeah, but they done lost their way.
They lost it. It's a disconnect. So we're trying to now, from a church, outside the church, inside the church, from the streets to the church, from the church to the streets, is make a reconnect, because even our young people, when they come to church, they don't experience the power or anything.
And I want to say this, that there are some people and there are some churches, but few. There are some that have understood the assignment.
Gotcha.
And the role and all of that type of stuff.
Shout out to them churches.
Dominique, let me say
If
this.
y'all come hook up with us, because we about to do something.
I'm not finna kiss up for the church. I'm not finna do that. I'm for the kingdom. I'm gonna be straight up with you. That's why I like it. I'm not knocking the church because they can feel that. Who you think he is? One of the things that I learned as a pastor when I got out of prison, the first thing pastor used to tell me, man, don't tell nobody you been in prison, doc. You ain't gonna doc. You don't do that. I be listening to you on the radio. Don't tell folks you been in prison. Man, before I be fake before I want to die. I'm not into all that. That's the reason why I don't get in the church clique. That's the reason why I don't want to hear a person preach a sermon and live in a sermon. You doing more Christian fight and walk than most people that's behind the pulpit. Jesus didn't show the people by what he said. He showed the people by what he did.
By his action.
He went where he was. Man,
Preach,
let me
Bishop.
tell you something. A lot of people ain't going to listen. We're living in a time now. They think preachers is jokes right now. I'm telling you. But people
facts.
need an answer. People need to see hope. When I see a brother get beside me and you come to my rescue when it seems like nobody else there for me, there's no more hope, there's no more people, somebody like you show up. It makes me want to say, you know, why this brother care for me? Just like I saw how you went for that young man. He gonna open up to you. You know why? Because you don't have no
That's
motive.
right.
You see, a lot of people, they can help you, but they got a motive.
Correct.
I don't want your help because you got a motive.
Mhm.
Tough situation like this here shows us who you are.
Correct.
Tough situation like this here, you can't play both ends to the middle. It is what it is. And, and as a Christian, as a pastor, I feel sad for the young man lost a life. I feel sad for the young man that did the shooting yesterday. I feel sad for all of them. But at the end of the day, man, we got to start speaking in tongues and dancing and shouting and educate our people. The Bible says my people perish because of lack of knowledge. And the church going to have to get out of the four corners, and the pastors that run around here want to be seen. Man, you got to get dirty too. Jesus got dirty. You got to get beside Dominique and say, hey, man, you're doing something. Let's try to. Let's work together. Let's see how can we reach these kids. Not just when something happened, you want to run your butt in front of CNN and shine like Mike Jones. I need somebody that's gonna say, "Hey, man, here's a situation," and I believe that this is what we need to do about it.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say this, and any one of y'all can answer this.
Yeah.
Why do people say our young kids it's no hope for them? I hear that everywhere. They too far gone. Where does language come from? Why they feel that way? Why people feel like I don't want to deal with no teenagers no more? They too out of control. Where are we getting this from?
Well, the reality is that, our current children is the work with our teenagers now is a ministry. And if it ain't for you, it ain't for you. You know what I mean? If that ain't your ministry, that ain't your ministry. Just don't pretend. Do you know what I mean?
Don't pretend, don't get in my way.
But the reality is that you gotta understand the foundation of the problem that we are dealing with here in the 21st century.
That's it.
Right? And so the reality is some of the biggest problem that we are having is we currently are literally seeing the grandchildren of the failure of the 1993 crime bill. And the reality is that I'm the generation, 36 years old, born in 89. I'm the generation that you took the father at the home.
The 80s babies.
Now, I'm the generation now that you took that father out of the home. Now I'm having kids. Now, this is the grandchildren of that crime bill, of all those failures of statistics, right? You took that black man, you took all of those social economic, you took the mother in some cases, you took so many different variations, and you locked them up, right? And we know the statistics of it.
Destroyed the family foundation.
You destroyed the family piece by piece, right? So now, half the time you go into school and you talk to a teacher and you be like, they'll hurry up and say the parents worse than the child. I'm sorry I called you. You know what I'm saying? Let me just sit here and call. Let me just deal with your child. You know what I'm saying? Because baby, I don't know how in this 5 minutes of the phone call, I told you everything that your child did, and you didn't reverse it on me. You know what I'm saying? Baby, you know what? Don't worry about it. I'll just deal with Lil Ronnie tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Don't even worry about it. Don't even act like I called, baby. You know what I'm saying? And so the reality is that that's some of the problem. It's a real ministry work.
Right.
But you got to understand the foundation and the root of everything that we are addressing in society, particularly to black people, is that we got to understand the root causes. It's just like the same conversation of what we talking about with wealth or anything. If you want to talk about how black homes are declining from housing, well, you got to go back to the foundation of how they started redlining our community. All of those things. So you can't address the issue if you don't know the source or the foundation.
The root of the problem.
And that is so real because I realize that if you can help anybody, you first have to know the situation. I can't be as a doctor going and cutting your heart out without finding out what didn't happen, what's going on with you. And I think that dealing with society, we have want to take the shortcut of dealing with our youth. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it's a risk. Our kids is more challenged than we was 15, 20, 30 years ago, because social media, a lot of things shaping their mind, their idea. They got this thing they call don't tell. You'll snitch, your rat. And that thing that's going on in school, nobody won't say nothing. And so we have to program their mind. We have to put it in front of them where they can make a decision before a problem comes. And I asked that question is because I understand the long suffering. I understand the challenge you take, the persecution. I'm surprised nobody ain't threat you by now. And try to come after you. I guess they know better.
They already done it, but it's okay.
But I'm just
They
saying,
done that.
well, they know you ain't scared. But
Dominique
the
is
thing
like a Martin
is,
Luther
they
King.
know he ain't no Martin Luther King.
He's similar.
He look like Martin King. He a mix. He a mix of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. He's a mix.
And I say, can I say
Hold on.
that?
He's a mix, and because he can get. He can talk, but he can get rattled.
Well, I said that I made that reference because of today in this century, in 2025. When you look at the civil rights movement, even Malcolm X or Dr. Martin Luther King, they started a movement amongst the young people. The movement didn't start, marches didn't start unless the young people got involved. So we got to get the young people involved and get them fired up, because can't nobody reach young people like young people. You get what I'm saying? And so it was the young people that was at the front of the civil rights movement when they had the marches, because they wasn't scared to die. One thing I heard that young man say, and I'm gonna wrap it up right here, is that he said, I'm tired of seeing us kill each other. If I have to do this so we won't kill each other no more, then I had to do this. I'm sorry, I didn't want to do it, but I did it. He posted it right after that incident happened. And I say, that's the statement he made. And so I'm saying that to say this, that the young people even want to change. They want a difference. So we have to create something as the leaders, as those that have a voice and have resources. You that are watching, you all can comment, get in the group chat, let us know, because we're about to start something. This is not the end of our conversation. This is only the beginning, because we're about to start something that's going to change the root of the problem, starting with our young people, because you cannot expect a difference if you don't change what was in the past. And if you keep doing the same thing, you cannot expect a change. It's a fool that expected to change and you still doing the same thing. So it's something that where we're disconnected to our young people, to where we have to become reconnected. So I think the resources here on this platform is that source, and we need you all help, because we can't do it by ourselves. Okay. And so, Bishop, before we end, I would like you to pray when you get through, and I would like you to pray it out too. If that's okay.
Okay. I want to say this to Dominique, and I know time is at hand. About the situation on yesterday, Dominique, how you involved with that, and what you think that need to be done, man? Because I don't want this to turn around to every time somebody feel like they're getting bullied, they use this as a reason or a scapegoat or a solution. I'm not saying. I don't know how people respond to bullying. What do we need to set out there for kids that feel like they have to act out, protect themselves? I know there's no perfect answer to nothing. You got to deal with everybody in their own situation. What information think we need to put out there, just in case somebody right now thinking about doing something crazy? Yeah. Right now, somebody thinking about, hey,
that's a good question.
Maybe this is the only way people gonna hear what I'm trying to say. What you think about that? That's a hard question, but I want to hear what you got to say.
That's a good question.
Man, there's more questions than answers for that type of stuff. Mm-hmm. That's a very complex question, and I'm gonna be the first person to say I ain't got all answers, right? But I do have the willing heart to sit at the table with so many people to balance out, to get those things that truly can work.
Thank you.
Right? I always tell people all the time, the work that we do in the schools is in a pilot program for a reason. It's meaning that we are evolving every day, right? To be able to adapt to the evolve. I'm trying to get into a 15-year-old and 16-year-old and 17-year-old mind. That take a process. That ain't no overnight solution. Even if you think what they doing today and you got all the knowledge of it, it's gonna change tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Really. And I want to know what trends them to change it, what do this, it's so many different layers of complexity of the issue and the root issue of what we are dealing with youth violence. And I think that there needs to be more dialogues, working groups with like-minded individuals coming together to really get I think the real part is that people are trying to operate in this work isolated.
That's it. You
What
hit
you
it.
mean by isolated?
By themselves.
By themselves.
By
You know what I'm saying?
themselves.
But the reality is that everybody want to be the king. Everybody want to be the what's called.
They want to be the chief.
No, one thing I like about you, I'm listening to you. I'm listening to you. How I know you for real and so sincere. You keep saying work together. You ain't saying my program. You ain't say listen to me. You said the magic word. You said it's a process. I don't know everything.
Let me say this quick. If Dallas ISD told us they're gonna give us all the comprehensive high schools, which is 23.
Gotcha.
DeSoto gonna give us Lancaster, Cedar Hill, Dunkerville. We don't even have the capacity to hold that. We don't have the capacity.
The venue?
We don't have the capacity of staff to do that. So that means what I'm gonna have to do is I'm gonna have to be able to find a way to hire individuals that have like-minded programs to be able to say, hey man, listen, we got the contract, man. Listen, you wanna come do this right here? I don't care. Go over there to Lincoln. Go over there to Carter. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like we don't have the capacity.
Do they have programs in school where people, we talk about education, we talk about 2+3 and all that and science. Do they have a system setting in school where people that having social problems at home? And I know you come to school to learn, but you can't stay focused if mama's smoking weed and dad is selling dope.
I can answer that question quickly because I know we gotta go. But real quick, it's this: everything requires funding, resources. When you have a legislature that literally is defunding education and not giving us the proper resources, these programs are the first thing that goes, right? And so the reality is that it's a lot of us that sit here and say, we want to do the work.
Do they have a program for bullying?
Yeah, they got a program for all that. But the part is this: if you want your program, the way Dallas ISD or any school district pay, it's in a net 30, net 60. So if you put people on that site, do you got the resources to front their salary for 2-3 months? Because of how to pay. So the industrial complex of doing that work
is difficult.
It's difficult. Okay. And you gotta have somebody who understand that. It ain't just about going on the campus. If you don't have the infrastructure to sustain it, and that took me having to work with people who are former teachers, administrators, executives, people who understand school business.
Gotcha.
Yes, a whole lot of people wanting to do this, but they don't understand school business.
Gotcha.
And so you gotta get with somebody that understands school business so that then the door can be yet open. But if you running around talking about I got this support letter and I got this and that and third, that ain't nothing gonna happen. Ain't nothing gonna happen, man. You know what I'm saying? It just go.
Have the I's and T's.
It just go from there, man. Go pray us out.
Hey, I'm gonna pray y'all out. Listen, I want to say, Dominique, the priest, I thank God for them being here. Without a shadow of a doubt, y'all. We here because we love y'all. We here because we want you to understand truth ain't always what you see in social media. Truth is based on facts, and you got to be patient. The Bible said, don't judge nothing before time. What done in the dark will come to the light. All we asking you guys, give the young man an opportunity, allow the truth to come out. And I do want to say that if you have a child that's being bullied, or you have a child that's going through something, call Dominique. I ain't gonna say this. Call Bishop.
Call all of us, because we about to do an infrastructure. We about to develop something.
Definitely, I want to say that it ain't over yet. We just proud to have this man and both of these men on this broadcast. Reallyfe Street Stars. But before I get out of here, I want to pray for y'all. Heavenly Father, we just thank you for your grace. Thank you for your mercy. We thank you for these young men. Most of all, God, we want to pray for Dominique, God. We pray that, God, that you go with him, God, that you give him the resource, God, the money, the ideas, the people that will come with him and not look at him, God, according to the corner mind, but look at him as a man, God, that's trying to change the system of the mind of the people that is broken and blind and deceived. And God, most of all, God, nobody know it all. God, we trust you, God, that you give us the ability, God, to come and sit down, God, and find a solution if we can change one. But God, I just pray, give him favor, God, beyond words, and let it be you be behind him. And Father, if a man fight against God, he's a foolish man. And I thank you for this broadcast. I pray for Reallyfe Street Star, God. Continue to bless them for allowing us to be real and be ourselves. In Jesus' name, amen.
And may God bless America. May God bless the president and the United States of America.
This is cut.
This is the greatest country ever to live in.
It's cut, man. It's cut, man.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Stars, nigga. Move. Hey.